What is going on, Wastelanders? It is me, Lone Vault Wanderer, back with another Fallout 4 What We Want video. It's been about 3 weeks since the last episode, but I want to make another one, so I apologize for not making a Fallout 4 video, just in general, for a long time now. So anyways, in today's episode, I want to talk about my desires for Fallout 4 to have a much wider array of weapons. As much as I loved Fallout 3, as much as I loved New Vegas, I still thought that the games were lacking in terms of the number of weapons and the array and varieties of weapons that were available. Honestly, when I was playing Fallout 3, I just found myself picking up hunting rifle after hunting rifle. And while that's really great in the beginning stages of the game because it's a solid weapon to use in lower levels, later on it just gets a bit mundane. And I want to see just a lot of different weapons that you can pick up in the Wasteland, that you're not consistently finding the same old weapons again and again and again. I understand the need to have weapons like your 10mm pistol, like your hunting rifle, but I just want the weapons to be a bit more unique and a bit more varied, and not just in terms of the number of weapons within a particular class, like for example rifles or shotguns or pistols, but also the number of different classes of weapons that are available. And by that I mean, I don't just want to see energy weapons, melee, etc. just return as they were in Fallout 3 and New Vegas. I want Bethesda to think out of the box. I want them to think of just these crazy different weapons that you might not necessarily see in the real world, but would still kind of make sense in terms of Fallout's lore. Because yes, let's face it, whilst Fallout is still kind of mirroring our Earth and our world, it's taken a tangent because of the way the storyline and the history of Fallout has gone with, you know, the use of nuclear power, etc. So you see that, for example, the energy weapons that are available in Fallout aren't necessarily in parallel to anything that's available in the real world, in our society. So why can't they take that freedom, take some more liberties, and just go even further and push the idea more in terms of the crazy weapon classes that could be available in this kind of tangent reality that Fallout is. So yes, let's see assault rifles, let's see pistols return, and let's see more variety of weapons within those particular classes. But let's be imaginative, let's think out of the box with the different types of weapon classes that there are. So yes, energy weapons was obviously a great and novel idea. Maybe not novel in the sense because it's been done in many other different video games. But what I want Bethesda to do is kind of think of something that hasn't necessarily been done before, or if it has been done before, to push the idea even further and to really push the boundaries. And I'm not just going to say that Bethesda, you need to be imaginative and think of your own ideas. A couple of ideas that come to my mind would be like flame or fire or volcanic based weapons that shoot flames, or magma or volcanic ash that burns the skin. And I know that they, for example in Fallout 3 they have the incinerator and the heavy incinerator, but those are technically considered energy weapons. So take that further, make fire based weapons their own separate class. Yes, we've seen flamethrowers done in the past, but you could take the idea so much further than that. The incinerators are a great weapon. I'm sure Bethesda could think of even more unique flame-based or fire-based weapons, such as the incinerator. And that's just given me another idea. What about chemical-based weapons? Weapons that can cause poisoning, that can, burn the skin, that can cause infections, that aren't just about causing direct damage to the enemy, but causing more longer-term effects, particularly for boss battles which are drawn out, so you want to kind of, over time, weaken your enemy. And I think Borderlands really encapsulates these ideas very well in terms of the elemental effects that weapons can have. So you've got your fire, your shock, your explosive, your corrosive. That's great to have. I'm not saying copy that directly. What I'm saying is maybe incorporate something like that as a separate class and then run from there. Not just having a weapon shoot fire or shoot shock, which, let's be honest, Borderlands is kind of about, but having these unique weapons that have those elements as a basis. So maybe having ice-based weapons where the entire premise of the weapon or the gun is shooting ice or incorporating ice in the projectile in some way. So maybe it's a direct ice beam, maybe it's shooting bullets that explode ice upon impact. Just things crazy like that. I think the Fallout universe really does have the freedom to pursue those kinds of ideas because of the entire advent of energy weapons. If you can have crazy energy weapons like, the plasma pistols, the plasma rifles, laser rifles, etc., I think that these kinds of ideas aren't too much of a jump from that. I would really like to see more unique classes that we haven't necessarily seen before, but would still be really cool to have. Because in my personal opinion, whilst I loved some of the weapons in Fallout 3 New Vegas, the weapon variety was just not that great, especially in an open world game where you're spending tens if not hundreds of hours in there. You want to see a bit of variety eventually. You don't want to be seeing the same old guns, you don't want to be seeing the same old weapon classes, you want something different. And maybe a way to solve that problem is introducing these new classes as you level up. So for example, you won't be able to see incinerator weapons or flame based weapons until you reach level 15, and then you can't see corrosive based weapons or shock based or ice based weapons until you reach level 20. So at least it keeps the game fresh as you progress, and it's not just the same boring old mundane things. I don't know, I'm just babbling on at this point, but that's what I'd really like to see. I would love to get all of your opinions on this particular topic. Please put your thoughts in the comments below, and as always, I will eventually respond to all of your comments. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of my Fallout 4 What We Want series, and until next time, Wastelanders, this has been the Lone Vault Wanderer. Please take care of yourself, and as always, keep fighting the good fight.